Hey everybody, welcome back to BK's Bullets. Today we're talking about Fables, Volume 19, Snow White. Hey everybody, welcome back to BK's Bullets. As always, I'm your host, Brent, and today we're continuing our Fables read-through with Fables, Volume 19, Snow White. Now, this volume, I'm not so sure about. I don't think it was as good as the last volume. I think my problem for me here is that there's some major things that happen in this book. However, they feel very all of a sudden. There's not a short story. It's like about a third of the book is the beginning with Buffkin and his adventures of how he escaped death and conquered the Kingdom of Oz, kind of freed them from the King Gnome. Sean McManus is on art on all these little things. And they're a couple pages long. I don't know if they were like chapters in older issues that they decided to collect together in one volume with like the final issue of that storyline, which kind of brings it all to a close. And then we have the regular Fables art come back with Mark Buckingham, and that begins this 5-part tale of Snow White. This collects, I think it's 119. It's not on the back. Normally they're on the back. Here we go, 114 through 129. Now, I think that's a little bit too long because, there's no way there's like 9 issues or, whatever in here, 10 issues. So, yeah, I think these little Buffkin shorts were in previous issues, so that's why it's saying it's 114, even though I believe it starts with like 124, and then 125 must be the big spread cover issue that we have on the cover here of the book. That's this image here. Because there's only 5 parts, and that would make sense, right? If this is 125, big cover ends at 129. So anyway, this is the tale of Snow White, and Snow White and Bigby are looking for their lost children. We learned about their children clubs in Toyland in the last volume, where you have Dare going off to save his sister Therese and sacrificing himself so that she can be frozen or freed from that spell in the Broken Toyland. So that volume ended with Therese coming back, and that kind of bookends with the end of this volume where Therese comes back. However, there's a lot she missed, as we find out. The man that was training the fat nurse, so to speak, what do they call her? Now she wants to be called Lay, but I think her last name was Spratt or something like that. Anyway, this blonde girl, remember, she's out for revenge. She hasn't really sprung her trap yet. But the guy that was teaching her fencing, that was also Mr. Dark's ally, turns out he's another prince, and harkens back to the origin story we got from Rose Red in that volume of her sister and Snow White. This is the first prince she was betrothed to, before Prince Charming and before Bigby. So this is the unnamed prince, and he's got magical powers, which we're not sure exactly where they come from, but he is here, and he's staking his claim on Snow White as his wife, according to some ancient lands and promises and things like that. So he's trying to take her away. All the while, Bigby is out searching for his children, doesn't really finish that job. He starts it and then has to come back to do this battle with this prince. And at the same time, we're setting up another conflict with the Blue Fairy and Beast, trying to, soothe the Blue Fairy and giving her an offer to marry Geppetto because she wanted him dead. And Beast kind of delayed it for a couple of years or something like that. So now he's trying to find a way out of getting Geppetto killed or him killed because he bet his own life on it. So there's multiple things going on in these last 5 issues, and none of them really pay off. And I think there's too many things going on. I think if we had just focused on 1 or 2, it would have been better served. Even though the Beast storyline isn't that much, there's just not enough here or not enough setup for the death of a huge character in this book that I was... Unfortunately, I had been spoiled because I read the back of volume 20, and they kind of laid it out right there, and I was like, oh shit, that happens? Crap. So I knew that this death was coming, but reading it through, like, it may have been a shock reading it, but it just, knowing it was going to happen, just that this particular character was going to die, reading this volume didn't really pay off for me. So maybe we can blame it on the spoiler that it's my own fault for reading the back of a future volume. Never do that. But man, oh man, it's one of the integral characters to the series, and I'm hoping that they find a way to replace him or figure it out, some sort of thing, because I don't know how this series is going to work without him. He or her. They're a major character. So we only have 3 left, right? 20, 21, and 22 before we hit the end of the series. So hopefully the next 3 volumes deal with that death, and then go on to wrap up the storyline in a great manner. So I'm looking forward to reading them. Let me know down below what you guys are thinking of Fables, and we'll see you guys next time in The Funny Pages.